All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 22-23 school year. We're excited to have you all this evening. Just to let you know right out of the gate, this presentation will be recorded and uploaded to our school YouTube page. So if you want to review it later, or you cut out, or you missed part of it, it will be available. We'll leave it up there for you to review. The information that we're going to go over here will be some of the most foundational information to kind of help get the school year started. We'll refer to our school newsletter a few times throughout this presentation. That's going to be our primary source for ongoing week-to-week communication with families. We spend a lot of time and resources really providing links and thorough descriptions for all of our ongoing events here at the high school campus. So please keep an eye out for the newsletter throughout the school year. As I mentioned, we're excited to have you here this evening. We're going to go over our staff contacts, orientation information. We'll talk about the welcome email, which went out yesterday with schedule change link, review the bell schedule, where we are with COVID, arrival map, including our new app that we're using, which is Pick My Kid. My colleague, Mr. Guzman, will explain that when we get there. Club signups, assessment updates, instructional resources, curriculum night, discipline, and then of course we'll take time for questions. As I'm presenting here, if you think of any questions, feel free to type them into the chat. Our team is on standby answering your questions through text as they come in. Periodically, we may answer one of the questions for the benefit of the whole group if we think that it's something that'll benefit the entire meeting. Other than that, we'll just respond to you individually. This year, we have the following staff members working at the high school. My name is Nicholas Cavey. I'm the principal of the high school campus. I'm joined this evening by Mr. Hahn, who's our assistant principal, Mr. LeBron, our dean of students, Mr. Guzman, who's the assistant to the dean and works in operations, and Miss Beagley is our curriculum and assessment coordinator. If throughout the year you need to contact any of us, our emails are provided here. And again, you'll see lots of information from us in our weekly school newsletter. Additionally, we have our college coordinator, Ms. Bolat. She's joining us this evening, very helpful with all the college and graduation questions. So if you have any questions for her, definitely feel free to add them to the chat. And our staffing specialist, Ms. Cervantes. Ms. Cervantes deals with 504 plans. She makes sure that students with disabilities are getting their needs met. If you have any questions for her, her email is listed here as well. All right, this is where we are right here at the high school campus, 2600 Technology Drive. Yesterday, we sent out an email with lots of useful information. This welcome email included the schedule test scores from last year, links to a schedule change request, and a link to the new access for OSS Connect. OSS Connect is our internal grading system that we use to put in grades and academic records and things of that nature. Definitely refer back to that email because there's a lot of important information there. I mentioned this before, it's worth saying again. There's also a link to the schedule change request form. I know that a lot of times the turnaround time is you hope that you're going to get somebody to respond to you quickly, but with so many requests coming in, we ask that you provide our team a couple of days to process the request and get back to you. So complete that form. You'll follow your original schedule unless you have physically received an updated schedule. Students who don't receive any notification from us before the school year will follow the schedule that they receive, and they'll be called from class to receive their new schedule if it's changing. If we cannot process the schedule change request, we will notify the student as to why. Tomorrow, we're going to offer an on-campus orientation day. This virtual orientation is similar to what you'll see here on campus, but the benefit is that you actually get to see the classrooms, you get to walk the halls, you get to meet your students' teachers in person. All of our administrators will be on staff available to answer all of your questions as well. So we invited parents to sign up for a slot using Sign Up Genius. So that link is available. Basically, we capped each slot so that we didn't have an overwhelming number of people at any given time during the day. We're offering sessions from 9 to 4 o'clock. So we'll be here all day offering sessions. We ask that each student attend with a maximum of 2 adults, and we're recommending masks at this point. Student agenda and other documents will be available tomorrow, but we're also going to pass all this stuff out to students who are unable to attend on the first day of school. So if you have a conflict tomorrow, don't feel as if you're going to miss some important documents. All of the documents that we pass out tomorrow and those agendas will be held for your student, and they'll receive it on the first day of classes. This is what the student schedule looks like. This is a sample schedule here, but you'll see the periods, the times, the student ID number, teacher, courses, and the room number assignment. Also want to mention the food service and transportation information. There are links to these forms directly in our newsletter, which have already been released. So if your student is interested in the free and reduced lunch program or carpooling, Maya's transportation, or public transportation options for high schoolers, I refer you back to the newsletter to find all of those links. As we go into the next school year, I just want to update you with the latest guidance on COVID. As we mentioned in the past, we invested in the UVC lights that sanitize air coming into the building. We're still continuing to provide hand sanitizer in every classroom throughout the cafeteria and hallways. And students are encouraged to stay home if they think that they're sick with COVID or any contagious illness. We're continuing to have a COVID coordinator on staff. Our COVID coordinator's responsibility is to communicate with the local health department, do contact tracing, communicate directly with families about exposure, and answer those follow-up questions. Following OCPS's guidance, masks are now optional, but strongly recommended. Another important thing we always like to promote at the beginning of the school year is parental involvement. Our PVO will be out tomorrow on campus helping parents sign up for PVO. There's going to be an additional opportunity for parents to sign up through the newsletter. Once we get a group of parent volunteers, we can start dividing everybody up into committees and start tackling some of these awesome events that we'd like to provide for our students this year. So we encourage parents to get involved. This is a great opportunity. With that, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Mr. Guzman.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, students and parents. So the schedule, you can probably see it right now on the screen. We go by 9th grade, 10th grade, and also the 11th and 12th grade schedule. For the 9th graders, for the school dismissal, this takes place after period 7. That will be at 2:37. Parents should be already lining up before that so they can get ready to pick up the students. Students who attend club during those days, that will be at 3:22. That will be the dismissal time. And there will be a schedule for Wednesdays, and that will be on the following slide, where students have an early day. For that early day, students in the 10, 11, and 12, they tend to leave at 1:44 and also at 2:24 for the club time. You can probably see on the schedule too, they have 3 different lunches according to the schedule. So students report to classes, and then according to the schedule, they have that time for lunchtime. And you probably also see that this schedule will be included in the package the students will receive tomorrow if they come to the orientation, if not on the first day of school. This is going to be a map of the school setup from above. You can probably see the school elementary right across, but the one closest to us at the bottom, that will be the high school campus. In the high school campus, as soon as parents leave Young, they're going to enter technology drive. We'll ask parents not to drop off any kids at that point, just to continue through the car line. They'll notice that we'll have to turn to the right to actually enter the parking lot from the school. And it will be a loop that they're going to go through, and they're going to drop off their kids in the morning in there. The afternoon dismissal, it will be the same scenario, but we're using a feature called Pick My App, and we'll discuss that in a moment. But we'll ask parents basically to do the check-in when they come in. One thing that we would like to note, if you see on the schedule, not on the schedule, I'm sorry, on the map on the screen, There will be a section that once they enter the parking lot, again, not to have students being dropped off at that place. There will be many parents coming right behind, so that we need to enter the actual parking lot, and in there, students can safely exit and also be picked up in the afternoons. If we can please go to the next slide. The new feature that we're using this school year for the school dismissal is called Pick My Kid. And this will be a feature that students and parents will be able to have the dismissal process in a more efficient manner. The idea behind it is for parents to basically get access to the app. It is free. They just need to download it. They put the student's information and they select the schedule for the student when they leave, and they're gonna see that posted in there. And once they come to school, all they need to do is report themselves, announce themselves they will be on campus. Students will be able to see notification on the school cafeteria. That's when they get dismissed, and they'll be able to join the car line. We'll ask parents to have students, if they come in the morning, this will not be used in the morning time. At the moment, it's only in the afternoon, but students can come as early as 7 in the morning, and we encourage that for students to be here that early. But if it's gonna be in the afternoon, the times for dismissal, including clubs, they will be able to use this app. We'll provide tomorrow's orientation, some flyers and handouts, and today an email, a newsletter was sent as well with this information. You can probably see now on the next screen here, please. This will be a sample of what parents will see on their end from the app. If you can see on the left side, this will be here, the schedule the students will have to check in so they know exactly when to use the app. So they will be recognized on the school end, and parents will get to see this on the right side, and that's gonna be for them to confirm their arrival. So to reiterate, this is a parent app. Parents are the ones doing the registration along with the actual reporting when they come to school. If you can please go to the next slide. In the flyer that students and parents will get tomorrow, also on the first day of school, in case they happen to be absent tomorrow, and also in the newsletter and email that was sent today, there will be a QR code. The parents will be able to access and use that for reference.
Thank you, Mr. Guzman. So like Mr. KB said, my name is Ms. Beagley. I'm the Assessment and Curriculum Coordinator. First, I wanted to go over the BEST standards. So this year, the state of Florida is implementing new standards for reading and math. The idea is to eliminate Common Core and make the standards clearer and more concise. So moving forward, those standards are going to be what students are assessed on for reading and math, and our teachers have been attending trainings and are prepared to teach these new standards. And as Mr. KB mentioned earlier, OSS Connect will be very important. That is our internal system where we manage not just grades, but any behavioral progress. You're able to access your students' conduct points and commendations on there, which I know Mr. LeBron will talk about shortly. Each teacher also has a course page on OSHS Connect, and so that includes all of their resources. That's where students turn in assignments, access due dates. You can log on to OSS Connect with that login information that you received in your welcome packet. And at any point, you're able to check your students' grades in their classes, their upcoming assignments and assessments. So that is OSS Connect. You can also access their discipline records there. And then the next thing is that curriculum night is going to take place later this month on August 23rd and August 25th. So 9th and 12th graders, those families will come on August 23rd, Tuesday, and then 10th and 11th graders will come on August 25th. So on this night, you'll come and you'll follow student schedules. So you'll spend about 15 minutes in each of your students' classes while their teachers introduce themselves and speak a bit about their curriculum. So what their class instruction looks like when the students come in, some student work, their grading information, and at that point, you'll be able to ask any questions that you have for them too. So you'll want to look out in the newsletter for more information about curriculum night. Another thing that we have after school is tutoring. So this falls into that club time that Mr. Guzman mentioned. Each day of the week is a different subject for tutoring. So your student is welcome to attend tutoring for any subject that they need additional support in. You can reference this schedule when you are looking at the welcome packet from yesterday. So in addition to the tutoring opportunities after school, we have lots of clubs. And the club sign up genius is going to be sent out later this evening. So once that is, your students can look to the clubs and sign up for whichever ones they would like. They're organized according to day. So your student can commit to a club, and then the clubs are going to begin the first week of school. So please keep in mind that if your student is in a club, then they are going to be dismissed on Wednesday, 2:24, but normally at 3:22 after club time. We also use a lot of instructional resources here. So these include Delta Math, Study Island, PLTW, if your student is in those courses, Gizmos, AP Central, any logins for these, if they are something that is beyond what's in your welcome packet, that was emailed, your students' teachers will provide them with those, and that's how they can access these online resources. The AP exam results are available to students now through their College Board accounts. And FSA and EOC scores were emailed directly to parents in that email, the welcome email. So there will be a more detailed report once the state sends those, but for now you can see their general score on these exams, and make sure you're referring to the weekly newsletter for any updates about ongoing assessments. So Florida has also adopted a new assessment system called FAST, and this applies to reading and reading just for us. So the FAST assessments will be administered 3 times per year. And now these are statewide progress monitoring assessments. Previously, we only used district ones, but these scores will have a quick turnaround time. So teachers are able to then use those results to frame instruction for the next one. And so that will be a little more useful than the one cumulative test in the past. So you'll look out for the first administration in any 9th and 10th grade ELA classes happening in that window between mid-August and late September. While the FAST assessment now is being implemented, most of the state tests are not affected by any changes. The Algebra 1 and geometry tests are still one at the end of the year that's cumulative. Same thing with the biology, civics, and US history assessment. And ACT, SAT, all of those tests sponsored by College Board, including AP, have not been changed at all. Just to mention the graduation requirements, students who are attempting to meet the graduation requirements can use that new FAST third progress monitoring assessment and the Algebra 1 that's aligned to the new BEST standards. Students need to pass their grade 10 FSA ELA and their Algebra 1 EOC to meet these graduation requirements. There are many concordant score opportunities where if students earn a certain score on the English or math portion of the SAT or ACT, they can also satisfy this requirement. And on Fridays, a weekly newsletter is sent out to all families. So this newsletter is very important. It's going to contain important updates regarding testing, any events that are taking place, policies, reminders, recognitions. So make sure you are looking out for the newsletter each week.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Ms. Beagley. Good evening, Orca families. My name is Mr. LeBron, as I was introduced earlier. I'll be the dean here. I want to say I'm very excited. I have received several emails and messages from families, parents, and students as well, welcoming me. So I really appreciate that. Really excited to get the year going. So when it comes to uniforms, we are a uniform school. Please purchase your uniforms from the Rise Brothers website. We are expecting that to be done on the first day. Those of you who were students here last year, a lot of the same stuff we'll talk about. The other newer students, it's going to be in your planner and your student handbook, but all the information is going to be referenced from the student handbook and code of conduct. As far as discipline goes, code of conduct is very similar to the OCPS code of conduct, and not much has changed from last year. We still have our conduct points and our commendations on OSS Connect. Please, abide by those rules. Refer to that. It's pretty explicit, black and white. Like I mentioned, uniforms. You wear your collared shirt. Jeans are allowed as long as they have no rips. When it comes to bottoms, they have to be a certain color. We're allowing black this year, khaki color, black, navy blue. So please be and make sure your shirts are tucked in. You have a belt. You're looking proper. When it comes to shoes, please make sure that they are appropriate color, and there's nothing, anything that's black, gray, white, and brown. Yeah. Next slide. The electronic device policy, this is the same as last year. We want to make sure that students are focusing on academics, and there's limited distractions. So cell phones, smart watches, earbuds, they're expected to stay out of sight throughout the course of the school day. This does not include before or after school. So once the bell rings and we're going to classes, the cell phones and the smart watches, earbuds should not be visible. Staff and myself will be expecting those to be put away. If not, we're going to ask for those devices. And at that time, parent will have to come pick the device up from the front office. It is also highly recommended to keep the devices in the locker with your backpacks, since we don't travel to classes with our backpacks. When you visit your locker, you can retrieve your belongings and then leave your stuff there. If you must have it on your person, your cell phone for security reasons, that should not be visible at any time. Staff also in classroom teachers are not going to have assignments that require cell phones. Our reward system, this is something that I'm really excited to build upon from previous school years here at OSS. We have conduct points is kind of the negative side, the punitive side, when we're not following positive behavior. Reward system is a commendation. All right, so we're looking for students to go above and beyond. And some of those examples are assisting someone in need, volunteering to do an unwanted task, cleaning up after others, having a cooperative spirit, and exceeding requirements on assignments and tasks. So going above and beyond. That's what we're looking for to receive commendation points, and staff and teachers and admin as well. We're all promoting that and looking for those things throughout the school day. And if anybody has any questions regarding discipline or any dress code, anything at all as far as the code of conduct goes, please shoot me an email, and it'll be I'll put it in the chat box, but it also was in one of the first slides.
Thanks, Mr. LeBron. So immediately after this presentation, teachers will be available in their Microsoft Teams classes. What they've done is they've created a video recording, which is a welcome message, which they'll post to their Teams page with their syllabus and any other useful information. And they're going to be available live for any follow-up questions through chat. So if you have a question, you want to message them, something you want to know about the class, something you think they should know, they'll be on from 6:15 to 7 p.m. All of that information is going to stay in those classes. So for whatever reason you're unable to attend, you can still watch the welcome message. You'll still receive the syllabus, and our administrative group will stay on until that session begins at 6:15. So for the next 20 minutes or so, we'll hang around here. We'll answer any questions that you have in the chat. We're really excited about the school year. We're excited to welcome everybody back. And we know that it's going to be a positive and productive school year. So we'll hang around. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and one of us will get back to you right away.
There were some questions, I believe they were answered. I'm following the chat here regarding dual enrollment. So dual enrollment students, we are having just seniors are the only ones allowed to dress down. I think that's the question. Seniors are the only ones allowed to dress down. If you are a dual enrollment student, yes, you are expected to be in uniform. After winter break, that is the only time seniors will be allowed to have dress down days. But from that point on, no matter if you are dual enrolled, you still are expected to be in uniform. And jeans are allowed as long as they're not, there's no tears or rips.
And I see that we're getting some additional questions about the Pick My Kid Up app. Additional information is going to be pushed out to parents with instructions for how to download the app. We're also going to have a flyer that'll go out tomorrow during orientation. And we're going to continue to run all of the steps necessary for you in our weekly newsletter. So the communication is going to start coming out. And then, if you have any questions, you can follow up with any of us.